Hey, how you doing? Here I am, second period in my pre-calc class. This is my class. Say hi, class. I don't know if they heard you. Say hi one more time. That was not much louder. And I want to show you how to set this whole shebang up running from the desktop. This is Camtasia. It is currently running right now. I am filming right now, and you can see the audio level doing its thing right there. Check. Okay. So we'll minimize that. We'll start up Sketchbook Express, and I'll show you just how fast I can set this thing up. Okay, so without all the explanation, I'm going to make my background black by doing that. I have different layers here. I'm going to show you why I use different layers. On the main background, I can type in, and I'm going to pause this while I type. Be right. Okay, and I'm back. Spent some time typing that. Now I can move this anywhere I want. I'm going to put that right at the top, go into layer 1, and I'm going to put a problem on here that is, and I'll go back to my pen tool. I'm going to use this chisel tip marker and make it y equals, can undo that, that was a sloppy equal sign, y equals 1/2 x squared minus 5. All right, now on layer 2, I'm going to put the graph to what this looks like on here. All right, so I'm going to fade this out, and on layer 2, I'm going to draw a quick sketch of what this graph is going to look like. And that way I can fade it in and out. Now, normally, I would do this before class starts. But right now, even though I have a very patient class in my room, say hi, class. Hi. There they are. That's good. I'm going to graph y equals 1/2 x squared minus 5. And what that looks like is a graph. I'm going to have to freehand this, so beware. It's going to come down something like that and go back up something like that. That's not super terrible, but there you go. A little wavy right there. It's all good. But I can now have my problem on here and my graph, and I can fade this graph on and off as I need to. You can imagine how creative you can be with that. But what I want to show people is what a zero is. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and start the presentation of what a zero is. A zero is basically where this graph crosses the x-axis. Here's the x-axis. So we have two zeros here. Okay, a zero is, tell you what, let me undo that because I want to put that on layer 1 here. There we go. A zero is where the graph crosses the x-axis. All right. And we need to find out what those two things are. So I am going to pause this and instruct my class how to do this with a TI-84. Okay? TI-84. And then we'll come back, we'll use the quadratic formula on it, and we'll compare answers and see if we got the same thing. So I'll be right back. All right, so I just showed everybody how to do this on the calculator and find the zeros. And we found that this point right here was negative 3.16, and this point here was positive 3.16, which means this is symmetrical around the y-axis. All right, but we should be able to use the quadratic formula on this. So if I fade this all out and use this space here, remember our answers we're looking for 3.16 and negative 3.16. If I say that 0 equals 1/2 x squared. Here we go. All right, so now minus 5. And let's look at the quadratic formula. It is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And if we list the variables here, a, b, and c, A would be 1/2. What would B be? 0, because there's nothing here. That's actually 0x, right? There's no x term, so that's 0. C is -5. And if we quickly plug this all in here, let's do that. We should get 3.16, remember, plus or minus. Just bizarre. Well, B is 0, so we got 0, because there is no -0, right? Plus or minus, make this a little bit larger, B squared, so that's 0 squared minus 4 times 1/2 times -5. This should be nothing new to any of you, over 2a. So that's 2 times 1/2. Now, on the bottom, that becomes 1. This is 0, plus or minus. And up here, if I do this simplifying, that's 0. And I got minus 4 times 1/2 times 5. That's 4 times 1/2 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. So that becomes plus 10 right there, because that negative sign and that negative sign. So this is 0 plus 10. So that's the square root of 10. So it's 0 plus or minus the square root of 10 over 1. Well, that's just the plus or minus the square root of 10. Now, what is the square root of 10? Well, it is 3.16. Go figure. And it's plus or minus that. So I have two solutions, positive this and negative 3.16. And you can see that on this graph, those are my answers. That's the zeros right there. And you can see it's confirmed with the quadratic formula. Fantastic. See you later.